Imagine a world where the boundaries between professional-grade workstations and entry-level desktops don't just blur, they vanish entirely. We are standing on the precipice of a monumental shift in the personal computing landscape, a shift that is being dictated by a small, unassuming silver box that has quietly become the most important product in Apple's entire ecosystem. For years, the Mac Mini was the budget option, the entryway into Mac OS, often living in the shadow of the flashy MacBook Pros or the towering Mac Studio. But as we move deeper into 2026, the narrative has flipped. The rumors we've been tracking, the supply chain leaks from TSMC, and the internal benchmarks floating around Cupertino all point to one definitive conclusion. The M5 Mac Mini is no longer just a computer. It is a statement of dominance. We are talking about a machine that, in its base configuration, is expected to outperform the high-end Mac Studios of just 2 years ago. This isn't just a spec bump or a seasonal refresh. This is Apple intelligence realized in physical form. The M5 chip is set to introduce a revolutionary architecture that changes how memory, processing, and artificial intelligence interact on a single die. Welcome back to my channel Tech Rivet for exclusive insights into the future of tech. Subscribe my channel. Hit the bell icon for more tech updates. Now, let's get into why this specific release is causing panic among Windows manufacturers and even within Apple's own product tiers. The heart of the 2026 Mac Mini is, of course, the M5 silicon. Built on an enhanced version of the 2nm process, or at the very least, a highly refined 3nm gate-all-around transistor architecture, the efficiency gains are unprecedented. When Apple moved from Intel to M1, we saw a jump. When it moved to M4, we saw a refinement. But the M5 is different because it's the first chip designed from the ground up to handle the massive local LLM requirements of Apple Intelligence 2.0. Think about what that means for your daily workflow. We aren't just talking about opening Chrome tabs faster. We're talking about a neural engine so powerful that it can render real-time generative video and manage complex coding environments without ever reaching for the cloud. This is the local-first revolution. For the American consumer, where privacy and data speed are paramount, having a Mac Mini that can process 40 trillion operations per second on your desk without a fan spinning up is the ultimate flex. But why 2026? Why is this the year to wait? If you look at the historical cycle, Apple usually plays it safe with the Mini. However, 2026 marks the 10th anniversary of the modern unibody philosophy, and the leaks suggest a Mac Mini Pro aesthetic across the entire line. We're hearing whispers of a chassis that is even smaller, potentially mimicking the footprint of an Apple TV, yet packing a thermal system that allows the M5 Pro chip to sustain peak clock speeds for hours. For creative professionals in New York, Los Angeles, and Austin, this is the studio killer. Why spend $4,000 on a Mac Studio when an M5 Pro Mac Mini for $1,299 provides 90% of the same real-world performance in video editing and 3D rendering? It's a question that Apple's marketing team is likely struggling to answer, but for us, the users, it's a win-win scenario. Let's talk about the specific configurations because this is where things get truly majbor compelling for anyone looking to upgrade. For the first time in history, we are expecting Apple to kill the 8 GB and potentially even the 16 GB base RAM models. In 2026, with the sheer weight of AI models, the M5 Mac Mini standard is rumored to start with 24 GB of unified memory. This is a massive win for the US audience who have been vocal about the RAM tax for years. Imagine a base model, likely still starting at that sweet spot of $599 or $699, that can actually handle professional 4K timelines and heavy multitasking right out of the box. No more upgrading to be functional. Apple is realizing that to win the AI war, they need to put high-memory machines in as many hands as possible. Furthermore, the connectivity suite on the 2026 model is moving toward Thunderbolt 5. If you haven't been following the bandwidth wars, Thunderbolt 5 is a game changer. We are looking at up to 120 gigabits per second of total bandwidth. For those of you running dual 6K, Pro Display XDRs or the newer 8K monitors that are becoming SD. Anchored in Pro Studios, the Mac Mini M5 Pro will be the only compact desktop on the market that doesn't choke under that data load. It's about future-proofing. You aren't buying a computer for 2026. You're buying a workstation that will still be snappy in 2032. And then there's the gaming aspect. For decades, Mac gaming was a joke. But with the M5's hardware-accelerated ray tracing, third generation, by the way, and the maturation of the game porting toolkit, the 2026 Mac Mini is being positioned as a legitimate console alternative. Imagine a box smaller than a PlayStation 5 that can run GTA Virgin Islands, if the rumors of its PC/Mac port hold true, or the latest Resident Evil at 4K with stable frame rates. This is the vision Tim Cook has been pushing, and the M5 is the chip that finally has the GPU grunt to back up the marketing talk. The GPU in the M5 Pro is expected to feature a 40-core design that rivals mid-range dedicated NVIDIA cards, but at a fraction of the power consumption. As we dive deeper into the technical leaks from the supply chain, we see a focus on unified cache architecture. This is a fancy way of saying that the M5 chip will have a much larger pool of high-speed memory directly on the processor. In real-world terms, this reduces latency to almost zero. When you click, it happens. When you render, it starts instantly. There is no wait time. For a generation raised on instant gratification and TikTok speed interactions, the M5 Mac Mini is the first computer that truly keeps up with the human brain's pace of thought. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the price. Inflation has hit the tech sector hard, and while Apple loves its starting at $599 tagline, the 2026 Mac Mini might see a slight bump to $649 or $699. But here is the secret. The value proposition has never been higher. If the base model includes 24 gigabytes of RAM and a 512 gigabytes SSD, finally moving away from the 256 gigabyte slowness, then the $100 price increase is actually a discount in disguise. You're getting $300 worth of upgrades for a $100 premium. This is why the 2026 model is the one to save your money for. Don't get distracted by the M4 deals you see right now. The M4 is a bridge. The M5 is the destination. The design language is also expected to evolve. We're looking at more ports on the front, 2 USB-C ports, and a headphone jack, making it much more user-friendly for those of us who are constantly plugging in SSDs or microphones. This space black finish, which has been exclusive to the Pro laptops, is rumored to finally make its way to the Mini, giving it that stealthy, professional look that fits perfectly into any modern American home office. In conclusion, the Mac Mini M5 2026 represents the pinnacle of Apple's silicon journey. It is the culmination of years of learning, refining, and pushing the boundaries of what a small computer can do. Whether you're a student at a university in Boston, a software developer in Silicon Valley, or a video creator in Nashville, this machine is being built specifically for your future. It's fast, it's smart, it's efficient, and most importantly, it's inevitable. The competition is scrambling, but as of right now, there is nothing in the Windows or Linux world that can match the performance per watt of the M5. Stay tuned as we continue to track every single leak, every CAD render, and every benchmark as we approach the official announcement. The tech world moves fast, but Tech Rivet moves faster. We are here to make sure you have the information you need to make the right buying decisions. Don't be the person who buys the old tech right before the revolution happens. Wait for the M5. It's going to change everything.